ready to see examples 9, 10, 11, and 12? Here we go. I already written down your formula, okay? A1 is your first term, so that is your 1. We need to figure out what the common ratio is. So to figure out the common ratio, you do division, okay? So we're going to divide to find the common ratio. So we find that the common ratio here is 5. Okay, so we're going to plug in our, what we know, first term, we just said was 1, so that goes in there. Our common ratio is 5 to the n minus 1. So simple. These arithmetic formulas are so simple to do. Okay, so you have a of n is equal to 5 to the n minus 1 on that. It wants us to find the a of 6, so that means we have to put in a 6 for our n. So when we put 6 minus 1 up here, we have 5 to the 5th, which is equal to 3125. So the way that you write this is a of 6 is equal to 3125. Okay, next example, example number 10. Okay, so our A1 here is 130. To find your common ratio, you divide the previous one to the one in front of it. 65 divided by 130, 32.5 divided by 65, and here was 16.25 divided by 32.5. Okay, and we get that, our answer, and I like to write this as a fraction. So we'll get that our common ratio, is, I'm sorry, I can't even, typo. I'm racing ahead. Okay, we found that that is 1/2. Okay, so to find a of 6, we plug in our knowns. So this, we said, was 130. Okay, so we have 130. Our common ratio is 1/2. And since we're doing n minus 1 and n is 6, this is your n value. We'll do 6 minus 1. So we're going to have 130 1/2 times 5. So this is where you get that answer that I was wanting to write down a while ago. So our sixth term is equal to 65 over 16. Okay, the rule, explicit rule. I didn't write the formula down when it asked me to, so I need to go back and do it here. First term was 130. Common ratio is 1/2 to the n minus 1. Explicit rule always has the n written in it. Okay, so that's example 10. Let's go to example 11. Write the rule for the nth term, and then we're going to find the sixth term. So here we have -8 divided by 2, 32 divided by -8, -128 divided by 32. Okay, so when we do that, we get that this is your r value, and we get that r is equal to -4. A1 is 2. So plug in your values, a of n, first term, 2. Our common ratio is -4, and you do the n minus 1. This is your explicit formula. Okay, now we're going to find our sixth term, so we're going to plug in the 6 there. So 2 times the -4, 6 minus 1. I almost wrote a 5 there, because that is 6 minus 1 is 5. So we get our sixth term is equal to -2048. Okay, Now let's go to example 12. For example 12, A1 is 8, and then when you divide 24 divided by 8, 72 divided by 24, 216 divided by 72, this is going to give us our common ratio. We get that our common ratio here is 8. So our formula goes, A1 we said was 8, our common ratio, because this was 8, it's the first term, and our common ratio, it's not 8, is it? When I do this, that's a 3. So we'll put a 3 in there. And this is going to be 3 to the n minus 1. Okay, so now we are finding our a of 6. So we're going to use this formula, 8 times 3 to the 6 minus 1, because n here is 6. So you got 8 times 3 to the 5th, and 8 times 3 to the 5th power is 1944. So your a of 6 is 1944.